But, you know, what can you do?
So there's a thing I started doing on the Unfazed Review Instagram, and it was just a thought I had. It was my 100th post, and I thought about albums that had impact on me growing up. And I did this first one, because you can only post 10 images. So I did my first, 10 albums that really resonated with me. And I threw this out there as a challenge to other people, too. And you do it at Unfazed Review, and you guys post your top 10 albums. And they don't have to be in any particular order, but I just did ones that had impact on me, as a kid and as a teenager. And my 10, I did My Old Familiar Friend by Brendan Benson, In Excess, Kick, Aerosmith, Pump. I remember the first time I heard that was on cassette, and it blew me away. It was the first really rockin' record I heard, and Aerosmith fan ever since. Beatles, Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Great one. The Beatles won also. I know that's a compilation, but that was one of the first CDs I remember hearing and being like, wow, the Beatles are amazing. Cool. Jet, Get Born.
Jet, yeah.
Idolized Nick Sester growing up. Genius.
Smash
Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Love those guys. I remember getting that CD, the orange one, when I was 8.
That's beautiful.
And, man, I love those guys.
They're great.
The Kinks, Lola, great album. I feel like the Kinks are really underrated. I rank them right up there with the Beatles and the Who, and I think the Kinks are really fantastic. The Fratellis, Costello Music, that was high school. Brendan Benson, Alternative to Love, and Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation.
Nice, man, yeah.
I threw in some others, too. I did, so it's not just top 10. I did more. Right. But American Idiot, Abbey Road, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. I did a bunch of them.
Nirvana, hell yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what, off the top of your head, some of the albums that really inspired you, in your formative years, as a kid, as a teenager, which ones really spoke to you? And they don't have to be in any particular order.
My parents are both huge Beatles fans when I was growing up. So we listened to the Beatles religiously, all the albums. So all of those are stuck in my head as some of my earliest memories, just their music, which is cool. Yeah. It's nice. Obviously, they're also in their classical music, so we have a lot of classical cassettes and LPs laying around and whatnot. But I remember the first album I ever bought myself was Demon Days by the Gorillaz. Yeah, that was a great one. That was a cool one. And as a kid, that was fun because they were all cartoon characters and shit, so it was just a fun world to get into. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was definitely the first one.
That's a great album. That album was huge, man.
Yeah.
I remember the music videos on Fuse. Did you ever watch Fuse?
Yeah.
Man, yeah, what a great fucking network. Yeah.
Yeah. Then what was there? There was one of those boy bands NSYNC, but I don't know if it was NSYNC. Might have been NSYNC. They had one that was sort of marionette clown themed.
Backstreet Boys?
Was it Backstreet Boys?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe it was NSYNC.
All I remember is the CD. It was swirly. It was orange and red swirls, and it was it had this mechanical.
Oh yeah, it was NSYNC. Yeah.
Yeah. That was another CD. One of the early. Yeah. Marionette. Yeah, perfect.
No strings attached.
Yeah.
No strings attached. There you go.
That was one of the. I thought they were the coolest. Oh man, when I was 7.
Man, whatever happened to Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, man.
Man, that guy just dropped off the map.
Yeah, and playing a lot of video games growing up, I also listened to a lot of video game and film soundtracks. Star Wars soundtrack, dude. I listened to the Star Wars soundtrack a fuckload. Jet as well, though. Jet was a big influence. I listened to a lot of Metallica also when I was little. Just weird, because I listen to them now and I'm like, alright. But when I was little, they have some instrumental tracks where it's just or at least, they do a lot of jams where a lot of the song is just guitar. And I remember listening to a lot of those. Yeah, man, Gorillaz was the big one that I was into.
That's awesome. That's cool. Was that your first physical CD?
Yeah. And I had the boom box.
That's awesome.
In there, yeah.
I remember that. I remember the first couple CDs I got. The very first one I got, remember, was the Beach Boys 10 best or whatever, because it was didn't know shit about music.
Great, yeah.
It was just 50s accessible rock and roll. And then it was that Smash Mouth one, and then after that I remember I launched into the Beatles, and I became a Beatles freak, man. I love the Beatles, and I got all their stuff. Yeah. And and then I think that's how it goes with music, man. Then you evolve and you start, digging into other genres, and one artist leads to another. And I think that's one of the great things about YouTube and just, Spotify and stuff like that now in the age of technology is you can find one artist and then bam, play their radio station on Spotify or whatever you listen to, Amazon Music, whatever, and then you can discover all these other artists that you never would have been able to find ever, especially with limited radio airplay.
Totally.
Like they play just a few hits from select bands, but there's so many other artists out there that just go under the radar. And now it's like, man, the age of information. It's like you can find so much good shit just on YouTube, and you can really just branch out, and it's incredible. So in that respect, it's really really awesome.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, YouTube's been a lifesaver. Well, not a lifesaver, but a godsend for finding new music.
Yeah, definitely. Because otherwise it's like you got your record stores and you got your radio and all that, and yeah, sure you can still find a lot of great music, but now it's even easier. It's at your fingertips,
Yeah.
And you can download shit. It's like I'll hear something and I'll be like, oh, cool, here's that song by the Distillers or whoever, and it's like I'm gonna download that album, and you can just boom go and just there you go.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
I also want to give a shout out to the Fratellis. Just saw them the other night. They put on a great fucking show.
Hey.
Hung out with Mintz, the drummer, afterwards. Really nice guy. And their new album is fucking fantastic. You guys should check it out. The Fratellis are just always consistently delivering. They're just one of my favorites. Awesome. Yeah, the new album is In Your Own Sweet Time by the Fratellis.
Nice.
And that one gets my recommendation. It's just really, really solid.
Check it out.
Really good craftsmanship, man.
Go check out the Fratellis, guys.
Oh, the Fratellis. Oh,
love
boys.
them.
Love the Fratellis.
I have spaghetti dinner with the Fratellis every Wednesday night.
Love them. We made a little list of random topics. So I have one of some stuff for Emmett.
Questions.
Emmett has some questions for me. He doesn't know what they are. I don't know what his are. So I wrote down some random ones.
Yeah, okay, you go first.
Mine aren't totally coherent.
We'll go back and forth.
There's little random ones, you know. So my first one: would you rather be a ghost hunter on TV or a Food Network host?
Oh Jesus, ghost hunter.
Why?
This would be more exciting. I don't really know anything about food. I love eating food, but
you like eating ghosts more.
I like eating ghosts more. No, but yeah, I mean, if I was like a food host, there'd be more shit I would actually have to know how to do and to do in general.
Yeah,
it would be more. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really my thing. I feel like it would be kind of rigid and I wouldn't enjoy it. But being a ghost hunter, I mean, you just go into an old asylum and get scared. That sounds more fun.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
I love those. I watch so many of those shows. I love Ghost Adventures.
Yeah,
and Ghost Adventures.
And I feel like you don't actually have to know shit. Like they pretend I know how to work the not the EMP, the EMF device.
Yeah.
But you just turn it on and it works. You don't really have to know anything. You just go in there. And, I mean, I go on long little spells if I have nothing to do where I'll go on YouTube and watch scary videos and shit, and I go down that whole rabbit hole. And there's something very weirdly cozy about it, scaring yourself. Yeah, I love it. Nice. So yeah, I would definitely love to do that.
It'd be fun.
I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I want them to be real, kind of. I'm sort of in that area, so.
You're the skeptic, man.
I'm the skeptic, yeah.
That's cool. I can see you being a ghost hunter.
Yeah. If the opportunity presents itself, that'd be fucking fun.
Exactly, yeah.
We could go out and do it ourselves.
I'd love that. Let us know if you guys would like us to do a legit ghost hunting video, and we will do it. We'll make it happen.
I'd be down, yeah.
That'd be a travel vlog.
I've always wanted to break all the rules with Ouija boards and stuff. I mean, there's all that stuff you're not supposed to do. I want to do all of those things.
Yeah, I'd be so down. Absolutely,
so down.
Yeah.
And then nothing's gonna happen, but I don't know. You never know. All right, so the one I had for you.
Okay.
I don't know why I had this. So what's the movie? This is actually sort of harking back to what we were talking about before.
Okay.
Literally, what I wrote down was, "What's the movie that made you cry the most?" I guess what's the movie that just really just made you the sad the most and really got you?
Honestly, the one that really hit me hard, and you're gonna laugh at me, but Everybody's Fine with Robert De Niro and Sam Rockwell and Kate Beckinsale.
What happens in that one?
It's all about this guy and this family. And they're all the kids are grown and living their own different lives.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell plays this musician, and Kate Beckinsale, I can't remember what she does, but she's just attractive.
Yeah,
that's her job. She's just hot. I love her. She's great. And the kids are all just dispersed, and they always used to communicate to the family through the mom.
Okay.
And they would say, everybody's fine, everything's good. And then the mom dies, and then they have to. They're left with their rough dad, who's De Niro. And he's this grumpy, sour old dude. And he has a heart problem, has to take these pills, and he's real tough and real cold guy. And it's all about him traveling to see all of them and kind of seeing that everything's not fine.
Oh,
And
no, it sounds like
it was actually a really good movie, man. But I remember it's one of those where I was just like, be strong. I was like, don't cry. You're gonna look like such a bitch right now. And it was one of those where literally you watch it and you're like, man, that's one that hit the heart.
Yeah,
man. That was one of those I watched.
I'll check it out.
And I was just like, like that makes it chokes you up for sure.
I'll check it out, man.
A great cast.
That's cool.
Great freaking cast, man. You? What about you?
A lot of movies make me cry. Actually, I cry pretty liberally.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Good for you. You got a big heart.
So, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but for some reason when I watch movies on a plane, I cry really easily.
Well, it's probably the plane could crash at any minute and you could die.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's something about the elevation. I don't know what it is, to be honest, but
it's a new band, Elevation.
I cried like a baby in fucking Green Mile.
Really?
Yeah, because I was on a plane.
That's a heavy movie.
It is, yeah. But even so, like, I know, like, looking back on it, I was like, it wasn't that bad. Like, it was sad, but...
Back when you were flying on planes in 1997. Interesting.
Yeah. Grave with the Fireflies, I don't know if I actually cried in it, but did you see that one?
I never watched the whole thing, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, you're good. That was one that, like... Yeah, I don't know if I cried in it, but it definitely, like, made me somber for a long time.
Interesting.
Just after finishing that movie, I was like, fuck. And then I was in that mood for like the rest of the day. American History X, I cried in.
That was heavy.
That one was heavy, yeah.
That's a heavy movie, man. Especially that ending. I don't want to spoil anything, but damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And all those Studio Ghibli movies, actually, Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, they made me tear up at certain points. There are moments in those moments in those movies. They're very
heartwarming and
but not just very human and sweet, and like not like trying to be sweet, not like Hallmark sweet, but just there was a scene. This sounds weird out of context, but there's a scene in Princess Mononoke where the main hero has been very weakened, and he's he almost like he can't walk, and he's laying down, and he's wounded. And the chick, Princess Mononoke, is doing that thing that, like, I guess birds do, where like or animals in general, I guess, where the mom like chews it and then like puts it in the kid's mouth or whatever. Yeah. So she's doing that with the guy, just so he can eat. So it's like, I don't know what it is, some sort of meat. She's like chewing it. And then she's like putting it into his mouth or whatever. Yeah, like out of context, it seems disgusting. But and then it's heartwarming because he's like he's very weak, and then he starts to very, very subtly like cry as this is happening, and there's something about it. It's just very, very like very sweet and very tender, and most American films, at least when they attempt that, you can tell that like that's what they're going for. But something about that scene always stood out to me as just being very, very, very organic and like just powerful in that way. Out of context, it sounds odd, but
do you think
check it out.
As a musician that the musical score like really plays on your emotions too?
Oh yeah, and the musical scores for those movies are.
I mean, to those
incredible.
Specific ones, like you think that's why you got such an emotional.
True.
response?
Yeah. True. Yeah, that's definitely true. The composer for those movies is fantastic.
Who is
Joe Hisaishi? He's sort of like the John Williams to the Steven Spielberg, he always goes with the same director. But yeah, his scores are impeccable.
They have a chosen leash to be.
They do.
I like that.
Yeah, even like the intro of Spirited Away, like, kind of makes me tear up a bit now. Just because it's beautiful. It's just a gorgeous score.
Huh.
You should check those out for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
They're kind of wacky, especially Spirited Away, because it has a lot of like Japanese lore in it. So there's a lot of things that like seem very arbitrary, but it's just like it's just sort of a weird cultural barrier.
Interesting.
But Princess Mononoke is a little more gritty. Do you know what it's about at all? I don't want to give anything away to you. But
I'll watch it.
Check them out.
I think I have it at my house.
Yeah. They're very good. Very good.
Very nice. That's a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
My other ones I feel like are kind of weak, but what do you think is the shittiest TV show ever made?
Oh man, I don't know.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of shitty ones.
There's a lot of crappy ones. I never got American Dad. I thought it was just like a worse Family Guy. And every time I've seen it, it just looks like Family Guy.
I see it. I never really warmed up to it.
Yeah.
It's amusing.
Yeah,
It's funny,
I
but
can't. Yeah, every time it's on, I'm just like, oh, that.
I feel like it never really hit the Family Guy stride.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Cleveland Show. Like you'll watch it if it's on, but it's not quite Family Guy.
All of those just seem straight up unnecessary. Like, why doesn't just put those ideas into Family Guy? It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane's he's a mogul, man. He is.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of the guy.
Yeah,
I think he's great, man. He's super freaking talented.
Yeah.
And he's just a mogul. He's just
cool,
I mean, he's got so many the animation domination. He's like just all over.
I love Family Guy. I love it.
Yeah.
But,
and he's a talented guy, and he's a good musician too.
Yeah.
Good singer, good voice.
But that's not. I don't know. Yeah, because a lot of the bad ones you don't even think about. I mean, a lot of the shit that's on TV is fucking horrible.
I think all those like reality shows,
CSI, and all that stuff. Those are just kind of like whatever.
They're like textbooks.
Yeah,
they're just kind of there. You know,
exactly.
It's like trying to flip through a fucking algebra book.
Yeah, but reality shows, holy shit, I can't do them.
Yeah.
The whole reason we did Bachelor is because of how much we hate reality shows. I want to make fun of them.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Real Housewives.
Oh god, yeah, I can't. Those make me genuinely sad.
Like it's just like, oh my god, it's Bernice's birthday.
Yeah. My old high school girlfriend her family used to watch those all the time, and I hated going over to her house because I knew that would be on. It would just put me in a horrible mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reality TV shows fucking suck. Dude.
I guess those came about apparently because of writers' strikes.
Yeah, that's actually interesting.
And it was like they were having problems getting writers to do episodic content, and like they're like, hey man, like all these guys are on strike. We need some shit on TV. Oh, let's film the girls in the jacuzzi and let's do the reality show stuff, man. And like that took off during writers' strikes.
Talk about no message. It's just literally just shitty people hanging out.
It's like turn the camera on. Can you believe these guys? And what's funny is some of the stuff can be entertaining. Like once it's on, like it's almost like it's like a drug, or it's like really bad like free soda pop. You're just kind of like, I'll have another glass. Yeah. It's like. The only shows I ever got into like that were like Rock of Love. I enjoyed Rock of Love.
I never watched that.
Some of those, but
if there's like a theme to it, like MythBusters or something, then that's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah. But if it's just like the Kardashians, like holy shit, what do you?
Yeah.
What a way to waste your time. Like,
yeah,
you
just
could
like,
not
fucking
manage it any worse than watching the Kardashians.
Seriously.
Oh man, what's your reality show? Yeah.
For me, yeah, man, the reality shows, yeah. Even stuff like TMZ, I think is pretty petty,
That's sad, yeah.
It's like, okay, like who can we, focus on today? Like what B-level celebrity? I've been loving Kanye lately. He's hilarious, man. Speaking of TMZ, even though I'm ragging on it, he just goes down and talks to him, man, because I feel like TMZ chases these people down, and he comes in and he's like, I'm just gonna chill with you guys and I'm gonna talk. I mean, agree with him or disagree with him on what he has to say, but I just think it's so funny. He makes himself so accessible.
I do. I love Kanye because he doesn't give a shit.
He does not give a shit.
He's up. He's literally like what, maybe the greatest rapper in the world, one of the, at least living.
Famous, yeah.
Yeah.
He's so famous, and he's so popular, and he has literally Kanye farts, and it's like you hear about it on the news. Like he has a lot of influence, so it's really funny that he does say whatever the fuck he wants.
I love
Trump. And people listen, man. And that's the thing, and it's like good for him.
Yeah,
good for him. Speak your mind. You should be able to speak your mind. We live in such a society where it's like, everyone gets put on blast for vocalizing an opinion that is different than the mainstream. You're always
on thin ice, and it's fucking shitty.
And the thing is, it's like, not just him specifically, but a lot of people, it's like, if you say the wrong thing that, goes against the tide of what the media wants, the media's narrative and their agenda, then you're fucked. It's like we're gonna blacklist you, man. Fuck you. Like you're done. And it's like people get vicious. They go for the jugular. And it's like you have somebody like Kanye who is at the top, man. He has so much money and he's not scared of anybody. And it's just funny him being like, fuck it. And he just says whatever he wants. I think that's hilarious.
I love Trump's response. It was like, cool, thank you, Kanye.
So you're gonna have a Trump and Kanye album coming out soon.
I don't get it.
It's gonna be huge.
I'm the president.
It's gonna be huge. But I think that's funny, man. Especially because we live in an era where everyone's so tight-lipped and scared.
He doesn't even, his music is fucking wacky these days. Have you heard?
No.
What was the one he released? Max showed me this, actually. What was it? I gotta find it, because this is hilarious. Poop Scoop.
That's a real song?
Yeah, Lift Yourself. So it's like a normal song. It's got that like church choir thing going, gospel. He likes that like sound, whatever. Cool. Literally at the end, it's just him saying like "poop diddy scoop."
Maybe he's losing it a little.
Yeah, he's losing it, dude. 4 million views.
That seems a little low for him.
It does.
But we expected about 40 mil.
That's true.
Maybe he's just fucking around.
I think he is.
Oh shit, Kanye. This is your song, man. Oh god. That's gonna be playing at the club.
I love it.
Girls are gonna be shaking to that, man.
And it's very well pronounced. Poop diddy whoop scoop.
I almost feel like it's to that point where it's just like, I'm Kanye, bitch. People will buy anything. And then literally, I bet he was sitting around drinking with his friends or whatever, and they were like, hey, you know what, man? Start saying some crazy shit and write a song about Poopy Scoob, and then we'll see if people still like you. And he's like, I'm going to take that bet. Poopy Scoob. I'm going to go down to TMZ, and I'm going to say the exact opposite of what people don't want me to say.
He's probably 100% right.
Literally, he's going to go down and he's going to be like, I'm going to say all this about Trump, and I'm going to say the opposite of what I'm going to say what people don't want me to say.
Which is Poopy Scoob.
I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to do Poopity Scoop. And everyone's going to fucking eat it up. Or scoop it up, whatever.
Oh, man.
But it's entertaining to say the least.
I do love it. I love it.
It's fun to see.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. People love that. And what's so funny is, you know, they're trying to make him out like he's insane or something, you know, and they're trying to consult Dr. Oz on him self-medicating and stuff. Yeah. Because they're scared of him speaking his mind. That's the thing. It's just like, oh, God forbid, you know, you go against the media's narrative. It's like
he's so funny.
He is funny.
He's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious. Poopity Scoop. Poopity Scoop. So if you guys want a link to Poopity Scoop, we'll have a download below. Not a download, we'll have a link. And you can Poopity Scoop yourself.
Oh, shit.
You know, you can Poopity Scoop it up.